Now, perhaps there may be some of you who have considered adding real estate to your generational wealth playbook. And if that's the case, I've come here to let you know that that may not be a bad idea. And so my name is Max Jackson, the real estate advisor. And here we're going to talk about how real estate plays a part when it comes to generational wealth. Now, some of you may not know this, but around 70% of wealthy families lose their wealth by the second generation. And then about 90% of wealthy families lose their wealth by the third generation. So the question is, what can we do to position ourselves to one, generate generational wealth, and then two, to make sure that we perpetuate that cycle of generational wealth? So there's a few things to take into account, but I just want to make sure that we're on the same page. Do we want generational wealth to continue on for a few generations or for many generations? Of course, for many generations. So sometimes that the question to ask is, what type of assets are we leaving to the next generation? So let me ask you this question. Which asset spends the easiest? Does cash spend easier or does real estate spend easier? If you had $100,000 in cash and also you had $100,000 worth of real estate, is it easier to spend cash or is it easier to spend in real estate? The answer is cash. Why? Because you already have it in cash. You don't have to convert anything to cash, it's already cash. Real estate, you have to sell the real estate in order to get the cash. And so for many people, for many families, we've left life insurance policies, we left investments that's easily able to be converted to cash. But what happens is when you have assets that can be easily converted to cash, it's a whole lot easier to spend generational wealth, especially when you have family that's going through mourning and grief, and if you have family members that have never experienced a windfall before. But when you leave an asset like real estate, because it's harder to convert to cash, it's a lot easier to maintain in the family. Not to mention, many of you have probably experienced this where a piece of real estate was left, but now you have a family member that's living in the real estate. So not only is that real estate a staple for generational wealth, but now it's a store of value, and you have a family member that's living in the store of value. And so these are the type of assets that are easier to be passed on without being spent. So if you haven't considered having real estate in your generational wealth playbook, maybe, just maybe, now is the time to do it. So, should you leave life insurance proceeds in cash to family members? It might be a good idea, especially when you have immediate expenses coming up like funeral, burial. Maybe there's some debts that need to be paid off and you need the cash right away. But when you add that plus real estate, you then you potentially set yourself up to where wealth can last for generations. And so if you're considering buying or selling real estate, adding real estate to your portfolio, give me a call. Or you can message me right here on Facebook. So again, this is Max Jackson, the real estate advisor with Coldwell Banker Professionals. I hope to see you on the next video.